Hi, I'm Jonathan Knight, and welcome back to B-Movie Madness. The movie I'm going to be talking about today? Well, let's find out. Let's see. Oh, there it is. The movie I'll be talking about is Bathtub Shark Attack. Now, before I get into the review, let me tell you what Bathtub Shark Attack is about. Sydney and Chad have their share of relationship issues, but after moving into an old apartment building, their problems are about to really bite. One by one, the outer residents begin to disappear under very bloody circumstances. Something evil is lurking in the bathtub, and it's fucking hungry. Now, I was really excited to watch Bathtub Shark Attack because it was directed by Madeline Deering, who did Spirit Animal. And Spirit Animal was a movie I reviewed back in 2020, and it's still one of my favorite movies I've watched on this channel. I watch it every October. I completely adore that movie. So the thought of watching a new shot-on-video movie from her was really exciting. Not only that, but if you don't know Madeline from Facebook, she's a huge fan of shitty shark movies. She even has her own podcast called Shitty Shark Show. So a shot on video shark movie from her, hell yes, I'm sold. So I sat down, I got my snack ready, and I was prepared to have a good time. Holy shit balls, this movie was fucking amazing. This movie completely blew me away. I went in expecting one thing, and then she gave me something much, much crazier. I went in, bathtub shark attack, people getting into a bathtub, getting attacked by shark, and she does deliver that. She actually delivers that right away. But no, she goes for something more batshit crazy. This movie is about a cult who worships a shark god called Dakawaka, who needs a virgin to impregnate. Who would have thought of that? Madeline Deering. She could have just made the simple shark movie, but no, she made something that was the demented love child of Slime City and Rosemary's Baby. And if that doesn't excite you, then stop watching my review, because the Slime City vibes in particular really hit me hard. Because who really makes a Slime City movie anymore? Nobody but Madeline Deering. I was like, holy shit, this movie felt like a cocaine-fueled fever dream. And the movie gets absolutely crazier as it goes on. You think it's going to zig, and it zags completely. Like, I was like, holy shit. And when you're doing a shark movie these days, there are millions of shark movies these days. So trying to do an original shark movie these days is getting harder and harder to do. Not only did Madeline make an original shark movie, now there's plenty of movies about cults and cult activities, but doing a cult movie about a cult and a shark god, no one's done that before. And not only that, I don't think anyone's made a shot on video shark movie before. And there's a lot of shot on video movies out there. It's not as much as shitty shark movies, but there's still a lot of them out there. So the fact she was able to make an original shark movie really just blew me away, because she like I said, she could have kept it simple and to the point, and she would have made a perfectly fine, entertaining movie. But she was like, no, I want to make the most insane shark movie ever made, the goriest shark movie ever made, and I think she 100% did that. So the thing that impressed me the most about the movie was the story. I was like, holy crap, I can't believe this movie is going in such wild directions. I should have expected it because, Spirit Animal, but I was expecting a simple shark attacking people in a bathtub movie. I was not expecting a shark coming out of a beer tap and tearing somebody's stomach open. And, well, I got that. And I'll be talking more about some of the crazier stuff later, because this movie, it just keeps going and going and going. Like, when you get to the end of the movie, the end of the movie is the craziest part. But the movie just the whole entire movie is just batshit crazy, and I loved it for that. Now, when it comes to the acting in this movie, I don't want to bullshit anybody and say the acting in this was incredible. When it comes to most shot-on-video movies, the acting is usually pretty awful, but it's like a charming awful, so it's fun to watch. But considering some of the crazy shit that people have to go through in this movie, I thought everybody did a really solid job. The two leads of the movie, Ben Deedles and Ruby Kraft, they did a solid job. Ruby in particular did, because at one point her character is eaten out in the bathtub by the shark. You heard me correctly. Eaten out in a bathtub by a shark, and she did an incredible job in that scene. And that, if you think that's the most insane moment in this movie, no, it isn't. It gets far crazier. But let's continue on with the acting. Let's talk about horror legend Lynn Lowry is in this movie. If you don't know Lynn's work, she is known for George A. Romero's The Crazies, David Cronenberg's first movie, Shivers. She was the dream girl of Lloyd Kaufman's character in The Battle of Love's Return, which is a trauma movie that no one probably remembers except for people like me. And she's in my favorite grindhouse movie of all time, I Drink Your Blood. She plays one of the satanic hippies who gets rabies and starts killing a bunch of people. She plays the gorgeous mute one. And in my opinion, she's still gorgeous these days. She has aged very gracefully, and I'm not saying that because I want to kiss her butt. I'm just stating cold hard facts here. And the fact that she's in this movie blew me away. When I first saw the trailer and I seen that she was in this movie, I was like, holy shit, Madeline got Lynn Lowry to be in this movie. And it was so freaking cool. She did a great job. She's the most experienced actor in this movie. She does the best job of the movie. But seeing her in this, shot and video shark movie was really fucking cool. And speaking of that, Sydney Sonnenfeld, who plays the daughter of her character, also did a really solid job. She's a likable girl, but you can tell there's something off about her. You don't trust her at all. And she did a really, really great job at playing that type of character. And her chemistry with Lynn Lowry was really good too. The two scenes they had together, they played off each other really, really well. So it was really great seeing that. So she did another solid job as well. But let's talk about the MVP of this movie for me. Let's talk about Tim Gross as Bill Thummer, the plumbing hero of this motion picture. Bill comes into this movie rocking and rolling with shit on his hand, and he completely steals the show away from everybody. And I mean everybody. Everybody. And at one point, sadly, you think he's dead. He gets his hand bit off, you think he bled out, he's dead, and you're like, oh, fuck, man, he was my favorite character. And then he comes back like a phoenix rising above the ashes into the finale with his dismembered hand replaced with a plunger and starts kicking cult member ass. He is the Ash and Reggie of this motion picture, and I demand a spin-off movie with him. You hear that, Madeline? I demand it. I want a Bill Thummer spin-off movie. I want to see him going on kicking more ass. Cult member, shark, crocodile, troll, I don't care. I want to see him kicking more ass with that plunger hand. And there's several death by plungers in this movie, and it was awesome. So, although everybody did a solid job, my boy was Bill Thummer, or Tim Gross's Bill Thummer. Love that character. Now, let's talk about the special effects in this movie. If you don't know me, I love me some DIY shot-on-video special effects. And this movie completely delivers in cheese-tastic, gory as hell kills. Even more so than Spirit Animal, which has some really incredible kills. The special effects were done by Angel O'Connor and Joseph Ruscio, and I thought they did a really solid job at, probably what little money they had. There's this rubber head prop that's used several times throughout the movie that I absolutely love this thing. I think Madeline has used it before. I found that thing so charming as all hell, and I love the fact that, you take what you have and you use it. And people like me love that kind of stuff. The big critics and all that will probably look at this movie and go, ugh. So cheap. But I will take a cheap practical effect over a good CGI effect, because I'm just not a CGI person. So I really like the effects of this movie. There's a lot of kills. Every kill is gory. Madeline set out to make the goriest shark movie ever made, and I think she did. It's certainly the goriest one I've ever seen. But there's so many kills. It being a shark movie, people are ripped apart and all that. There's one kill, a bartender played by famous actor Tom Gross, who the shark comes through a beer tap and kills him, which I've never seen that before. So again, this movie keeps delivering original stuff and insanity. All kinds of dismemberment. There's a lot of, I talked about it earlier, there's a lot of dismemberment by plunger, which is really, really freaking cool. But my favorite kill in the movie, I'm kind of split between two kills. There's a kill involving a washer that was really cool, and that has the rubber head prop. But my favorite kill was probably a drunk guy who gets his dick bit off. And I love me some, dick biting action. And this one was probably some of the goriest dick biting action you'll ever see. So if you're a fan of jungle cannibal movies, castration in general, you'll enjoy that scene. It's really cool. In fact, there is a scene set in a Halloween party that was hilariously awesome. People are electrocuted, and the electricity effects were hilariously awesome. I love them. But my favorite thing about that scene is there's an eyeball gag involving a game of Mousetrap. That is so freaking cool and original that I had to rewind and watch it again. I gotta give huge props for the entire crew, and Madeline and I think Joseph Ruscio and her thought of that. I listened to the commentary track. That was a genius idea. So props to you guys. But all in all, the special effects work are really good. But I gotta talk about my boy, not Bill Thorne, my other boy. Let me talk about Dakawaka, the shark god in this movie. The prop for that was really freaking cool. There's actually two props in the movie. There's a hand puppet, and then there's a bigger prop for the bigger scenes. Um, the shark was designed by Sean Donahue of Directorial Films for a movie called Toilet Shark that sadly was never made, and it was created by Marcus Cook, who is a filmmaker who did the movie 100 Tears, which is a pre-Terrifier killer clown movie that I highly recommend. Both Sean and Marcus are great people. I don't think I've talked about them before, but Sean is a great filmmaker in his own right. The Death Court Services movies are awesome, and of course 100 Tears is awesome. And I thought that shark prop was really, really cool. And I'm glad that Sean gave it to Madeline to use in this movie, that it wasn't, it got used and wasn't, going to just sit somewhere and waste away. I got to use it in a really cool B movie. So it was really cool to see that. I really liked the shark effects. I thought they were cheese-tastic. I love the little puppet work. I love it has a voice. Joseph Ruscio does the voice of it. I thought that was really funny. I think he also did the voices for the spirit animal. I'll be talking about Joseph really soon because this dude did a shit ton of things on this movie. He deserves a shout out. But all in all, the gore effects, the shark props were all awesome. And if you want some really gory, cheese-tastic kills, this movie completely delivers. It's some of the best kills I've seen in a shark movie, and I'll stand by that comment. So all in all, hell yes. Now, let's talk about the score of this movie. The score was done by Matt Cannon, who also did the score for Spirit Animal, and I really liked his music in that movie. He also did the music for a documentary about Wave Films called Mail Order Murder. And I really liked the score of that movie too. And I really liked the score of this movie as well. I thought the main theme was really good, but my favorite piece of music was the music that played over the scene I talked about earlier where Ruby Kraft's character is getting eaten out by the shark. I really, really liked that music. It really added to that scene. And I thought his music was really, really well done. He's incredibly talented. He also directed a segment for Horror Tales 666 Part 2, which I reviewed. And I would like to, I would like to see him not only, do, of course, more music, but I'd like to see him direct more because he's really talented. So, yeah, the score really added to this movie. It made the movie, a good score will take an already, good movie or a really entertaining movie and just make it even better. And his music really helped to make this movie even better than it was, and it added to the insanity, which really helps for a movie called Bathtub Shark Attack. So overall, Matt Cannon did a kick-ass job. Now it's time to talk about Joseph Ruscio. If you look at the credits for this movie, you can see that Joseph Ruscio wore a lot of hats on this movie, a lot. But I want to talk about two things that he did on this movie in particular, and that is the editing and the camera work. The editing, I imagine this movie was probably a bitch to edit because there's a lot of crazy shit happening in this movie, and he did an incredible job in this movie. When it comes to shot on video movies, the editing is not one of those things that usually sticks out for me. But I would say the editing in this movie is probably some of the best, or maybe the best editing I've seen in a shot on video movie. Really great work. I mean, I can't imagine, man, this movie is just a movie that gets crazier and crazier, and there's so much shit happening. And Joseph just knocked it out of the park. You did an incredible job, amigo. I really, really liked your editing work. As for the camera work, I love the camera work as well. I really like those POV shots in the pipe. I really like shots like that in general, and you don't really see really creative shots like that in a shot on video movie. But when you're making a movie like this, with very little money, you got to think creatively. So when you come up with shots like that, I really appreciate it. And I think even people who may not be in shot on video or might not like shot on video movies would probably even admit that those shots are pretty cool. So props to me. You did incredible work on this movie and every single thing you did, and I highly recommend looking at the end credits. If anybody out there watches this movie, look at the end credits and see all the jobs this dude did in this movie. He did incredible work. Now, last but not least, I gotta bring up the fact that this movie was shot in Splashovision. What is Splashovision? Well, every time a shark icon appears on the screen, like this scene right here, you got to take this squirt gun and you got to squirt the person you're watching it with. And well, that's how this worked out. Special vision. Yeah, he was not a fan of that. So I didn't do it that many times. He wasn't a fan. But hey, yeah, I did it to myself now, so payback. But I really like the Splash Vision thing. Famous actor Tom Gross, he returns for a segment at the beginning of the movie. He did one for scratch and sniff cards for Spirit Animal, so this is like a sequel to that, intro, and he explains the process. So that's really cool. I really like that she stuck with a gimmick. I really like the scratch and sniff cards, and although I didn't quite partake in the Splash Vision like I did the scratch and sniff cards, I still highly enjoyed squirting my dog in the face. So thank you, Madeline. Thank you for that. Keep up the gimmicks. I know you're gonna make more movies, so just keep the gimmicks up. I love that kind of stuff. I love that William Castle kind of stuff. So had a lot of fun with it. Thank you. So overall, Bathtub Shark Attack is a shit ton of fun, and it's probably one of the most insane movies I've ever seen, and that's saying a lot because I've seen some crazy-ass flicks in my time. But this movie is completely off-the-walls bonker that even if I didn't like it, I would just appreciate it for the insanity it unleashed upon my eyeballs. I mean, the movie ends with a woman giving birth to a shark, and I mean giving birth to the shark. You actually see the vagina shot and all. And I was in complete disbelief, and I absolutely loved it. And the only person that would think of something like that is a mad genius like Madeline Deering. And like I said earlier, I'm not kissing butt. I'm saying cold hard facts. This movie was fucking awesome. Bathtub Shark Attack is a batshit insane love letter to both shot-on-video horror movies and shitty shark movies. Check it out. And if you do want to check it out, it'll be available to buy in January. This particular copy I have is a limited edition one. It comes with a commentary track, which is really informative. She talks about deleted scenes, her influences, such as like the Amityville movies, even Caddyshack in one scene, the casting, etc. It's a really informative track. There's a teaser trailer, a regular trailer, there's an Indiegogo video, and there's also an Easter egg, which I won't mention right now in case she puts it on the new DVD. But it was a callback to a particular thing in Spirit Animal, which I really liked. She does say the DVD in January will have deleted scenes on it, so I'm looking forward to checking it out as well because I love me some deleted scenes. So yeah, I highly recommend this movie. If you haven't seen Spirit Animal as well, check that out. I would recommend Natasha Knight's Boudoir of Blood too, which has a segment directed by Madeline, but I don't think it's available at the moment. But I will let you know down below if they actually, becomes available again. So definitely let me know down below if you've seen this movie, if you want to see this movie, and I will do my best to remind you when it comes out in January. So if you like my channel, give me a thumbs up, hit the bell, and comment down below, what's your favorite shitty shark movie? Mine's Ghost Shark. That deserved a franchise, damn it. But that's it for now. I'm Ben Jonathan. It's been B-Move Madness.